Hello everyone and welcome to nerdhammer.net. I am Casual and I'm going to be going through my Crossroads GT list for the spring. Give you some of my ideas. Here's just a quick picture of the list. You can pause it and go through it. But I'm going to go to a picture of the army and just kind of talk about my ideas with the list and what I'm trying to accomplish here at the Crossroads this spring. Alright, so let's move on. So here's a picture of my army. I did okay in paint score, not as good as I did last year. I think mainly because I don't have, these aren't my best painted units. The pink horrors are just so-so because I had to go through so many of them. I think I have about 50 of them painted, which was insane at the time, but I smashed through them, and my corn dogs are not the greatest either, and my beasts, you know, they make do. The rest of the stuff I really like, though. They were my army last year, but I had some bigger models in last year, and I think that just pushed my score over. Okay, so let's start with characters. I have Moonface here. He's going to be my BSB with his nice big long staff there. It seems fitting for him to be the BSB. And this guy's my general here. They're both rocking level 2s of metal. I really like metal in a list like this. I can slow things down with Final Transmutation. With the popularity of Empire Cav lists, I can just go for 2 Searing Dooms and do my best to try to melt through the knights as quickly as possible. With that in mind, my list isn't really all about getting into combat. I want to hold things up as long as possible. Spam Final Transmutation until I get things down to an appropriate size, and then smash them with a lot of my Nurgle units. And we'll get into that as I move through the list. So let's go to core. I got 2 pink horror units. This just gives me nice bunkers for both of my characters, and the ability to get some Zeech spells that I like. I really love Treason with this list, and I really kind of wish I would have had another unit or 2 of pink horrors to try to push that spell through a little bit more. It's excellent when you get, say, like 8 dice with your channels to lead out with that spell, because people are like, oh, I'll use my Lotus Leadership, that doesn't seem like a big deal, you have 6 dice left. You know, I want a chance to stop Final Trans, but if you don't stop it and both those spells go through, now you're taking stupidity tests on your lowest leadership in the unit, and that could be horses. So yeah, it's a pretty cool spell. In the center here, I have a big block of Plague Bearers. There's 29 of them, they just have a banner. These guys are the classic Anvil unit for me. Combo that with the spell out of metal that lowers your weapon skill. If you're the same weapon skill as me, now you're looking at hitting me, or if you're 1 weapon skill over me, you're looking at hitting me on what would be 4s -1 for Nurgle. Now you're hitting them on 5s, and that's just absolutely devastating. They're a great block to hold things up. They help me break steadfast. Got the banner in there to help with combat resolution. These guys stick really close to my Beasts of Nurgle. So moving on, I got a block of 4 Beasts of Nurgle. I just kind of keep these guys back. Go through with my spells and my skull cannon and do my shooting, and wait for you to come in, and then just can't get those counter charges with my big bad units. So a block of 4 Beasts of Nurgle here. Over here I got a single guy, a single beast. I mean, excellent for redirecting. Comp wise, I could only have 3 units of drones beasts, so that's why you're seeing 4 and 1. Really love having that 60-point redirector out there. He's hard as nails being a Beast of Nurgle. Moving on in the special category, let's go to the Nurglings. A little foreshadowing, these guys did awesome in the tournament. 4 seems to be a great number. They still can dish out enough attacks. I've won some combats I didn't think I was going to win just because I had that many attacks. Their stat line isn't great, but you still get -1 to hit them for Nurgle. And the things that I was going in on, didn't have the best weapon skill, and just being able to hold stuff up. I mean, they surprised me over and over again. Even when I'm presenting my list to somebody, I'm like, okay, I got a unit of scouts, I got a unit of ambushers, and you can just kind of see them cringe as I would say it, and they're just great to be out there doing just messing with lines and messing with flanks. And at 160 points, I don't mind sacrificing them for the greater good. In the center here, I got 4 Screamers as each. I'm not sure how I feel about these guys in this list. I really kind of was hoping to use them kind of back with the pink horrors, maybe build their ranks up a little bit through some Zeech spells, but it just didn't seem like that worked the way I wanted to. But I did use them pretty well as redirectors and getting rid of some chaff, and then if they're still sticking around, get some rear charges late in the game. What I did notice was they were a great target for ballistic base shooting, so they took some pressure off some other units, and I think overall how they did for the weekend, I would say they're in the 5 to 6 range. I was kind of happy to have them some games, but I felt like they were useless in others. Moving on in special, got my ambushing horn dogs, got 6 of those. Yeah, I really like those guys. I mean, they come in right underneath 200 points, but if they come in on turn 2, they're really a thorn in my opponent's side, and I really like that. I like anything that throws their game off. If they don't come in till turn 4 or 5, then you just kind of feel like, well, they're in conservation mode. At least I saved 200 points with them, but they could be too little too late. So it's a love-hate. I do like them in this type of list because I am waiting. I'm waiting on my opponent to get over. I'm not making moves till turn 4 or 5 anyway. And you'll see that moving forward in some of my games where I'm actually really playing the game that I want to play. You'll see how the dogs really, really help just add to the total confusion and frustration of what this list can do. In my other special slot here, I got a unit of Furies of Zeech this time. I know they look suspiciously like Nurgle Furies, but yeah, these guys, what can you say? You want to bring 3 units of them at all times, I think. Furies are just great, amazing flying redirectors. They don't win many combats. They don't need to. They're just that setup piece. They are the pawns of your chess game, and they work excellent for what they do. So moving into the rare category, I got the Skull Cannon. Can't leave home without at least one of them unless they comp you into only having one. So yeah, just one of those. He is obviously my big target gun. He's looking for monsters and looking to kill them. I mean, Flaming Cannon, what can you say? It doesn't get any cheesier, and it doesn't get any easier. So that's what they're there for. I actually like to keep this guy. I like to keep the cannon close to, say, my Plague Bearers or my other beast. Just on the charge, if I don't need to be shooting with them, getting him in with these guys and getting those string 6 impact hits in the beginning of a combat, it just really seems to help tilt things my direction. I'm not afraid to charge with it. I think it does great on the charge. I don't want him getting bogged down into long combats, but he's a great support charger. Let's go to the Plague Drones next. Flying Monsters Cav with a Flaming Banner. Yeah, I'll take that. I think my unit comes in around 200 points. Now, the Riders have poison weapons, so they can't use the Flaming. The Beasts themselves, they can use the Flaming. They have poison as an upgrade. It's not from a weapon. That's important to know in case you run into anyone running that unit. It might not come into play, but if some reason you would fluff all the attacks on the beasts, these guys' attacks wouldn't be flaming. So it's important to remember. These guys, incredible charge range with flying. They don't march, they only have hover, so they got 10 inches plus swift stride. Incredible long range threat, and people just don't see him coming. Say you're coming up on this, say this is my battle line for some reason, and you're coming up here on this flank, and you're looking at these pink cars. All of a sudden, these guys make this charge, and that can shake you a little bit. I really wish I could run these in more than 3. I wish I had another one painted. I just feel sometimes I'm always down 1 before they actually get into combat, or even if they do get into combat as 3, they do 3 wounds somehow and one's dead. But when they do make it in as 3, I'm absolutely loving it. So the last guy on my list here is the Soul Grinder. I ran him as Zeech this time just to try to benefit from a BSB reroll. Would I do that again? I guess. I mean, there were some times I was able to use leadership, but it is only 1 extra point of leadership. So I really like Nurgle on him being -1 to hit. He is only weapon skill 3, so they were getting a lot of hits against him, but he is toughness 7. I don't know. It's a weird trade-off. I still think -1 hits better, especially when you see him go against some Phoenix Guard in game 2. So look for that and see how bad things can go for the Soul Grinder. But he does have the claw attack, which I think is awesome. I can force an initiative test on any model touching him in the unit, and if they fail it, it's an auto hit, 1 auto hit. One of the Soul Grinder's abilities is he can trade all his attacks in for a strength 10 attack at d6 wounds. So if you have that Ogre Butcher who fails his initiative test, all of a sudden he got hit with a strength 10 doing d6. So that's excellent. Okay, so there is my list and my setup. There's just a closer shot of it. And let's see what else we got. There's the Nerdhammer crew. We got Rob Skaven on the left. I'm flanked by Justin's Ogres on the right. The guys really stepped up their display boards this year and kind of put mine to shame. The only thing theirs don't have is feet. I can fold out my feet and make mine about a foot tall, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, this was Friday night before the tournament. We set up, got some pizza with the Long Island Wargaming crew. This is the army you'll see in my practice game before the tournament. This is Nick's Leadbelchers. If you're familiar with this channel, you know his army pretty well. Oh, look at that. My skull cannon snuck in the background. Huh. So, there it is, guys, and check out the reports coming up.